Okay, so what we are going to talk today is the tonality in our messaging. So yesterday what we covered was we saw how to basically format the email, right? So some basic email etiquettes which we should take note of and practice. And then we talked about messaging, particularly we spent more time on how to deal with bad emails, bad message emails, or angry emails, and also how to deal with conflicts. Any questions on that, Somil, Poonam? No. Right. So Somil is going to be on and off because he's in a train, and I think people are just boarding. Somil, are you able to hear me? At least you can send me a message.
Yes, yes, I'm there. I'm there. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Okay, so you can keep the video on, it doesn't matter. You keep the video on, but keep the audio off because you will be disturbed by the sounds. Okay, so
I'll
today we
just,
are going to talk about setting the right tone, right? What do we mean by tone? Anybody? Okay, everybody
It's
is
expression,
okay.
the
Expression of what?
expression of how we uh, write down the message, how we put it across to the other person.
Okay, so see, where does this tone come from?
So there are individual differences depending on
No, I
various.
agreed, but where does the tone come from? It's not, the differences
So
are there.
sometimes it can be because of some personal issues between two people, for which the email might have a different tone altogether.
No,
Sometimes it's the
I'm talking in
rapport.
totality about tone. I'm
Hmm.
not specifically talking about tone in email. We'll come to that a little
Hmm.
later. But
Okay.
tone per se, where does it come from? There
The
is
learning experiences.
learning experiences. Okay.
Hmm.
Anybody else? Poonam, what is your thought?
uh, about the what is the mood. The tone depends upon the mood of a person.
Mood of the person.
Whatever
Okay.
the situation he is facing, like the
Okay.
tone hit.
Okay. 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 Any input, Somil? All
I'm
right.
interacting in the chat box, Saraj. You can see my
Okay.
messages in the chat box.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I'll keep it open. Just a second. Yeah, that's better. Okay, it comes from intentions, the way of delivery. All right. Right. In the communication scenario, one of the fundamental principles of communication is it's not what we say, but how we say it that makes the difference. Would you agree with it? Yes? Yes or no? Guys,
Yes.
keep your audio on and answer me. Now, everybody, please don't shift to chat. It's very difficult. Okay. So, what I say comes from my content, which is created by the words I use. Right? So, where does the how come from? Right? The how comes from my attitude. Right? For example, Anju, if my attitude towards you is negative,
Hmm.
will that negativity be communicated in my communication? Yes or no?
Yes, it will reflect.
It will reflect, right?
Yes. Hmm.
And if I am more positive and favorable to you, that will also reflect.
Hmm. Then the appreciation words would be loaded.
That will be more. It's just the tone, you know, to give you an example. I'm very fond of this example. Years ago, there used to be an ad on the television, right? That time, this wonderful actress was there, Varsha Usgaonkar. I don't know if anybody is familiar with her name. And that ad depicted a kind of a village girl, and there was another village boy, right? The typical, you know, types. And he asks her, "Mujhse shaadi karogi?" And the response the lady gave was, "Shadi aur tumse? Ha, kabhi nahi." Okay. He gave her a pan parak. She puts that in her mouth and chews it around a bit. And he asks her again, "Mujhse shaadi karoge?" This time she says, "Shadi aur tumse kabhi nahi." Right? Now, did the words change? The question was the same. Her response, did the words change?
No.
No. But was the answer same?
Yes.
Was the answer same? Did she agree in the first instance?
No, she did not agree. The answer was same.
So answer was different, na? The implied answer was different. When she said shadi aur tumse kabhi nahi, does it mean that she was saying, yes, I want to get married to you? In fact, she was saying the opposite, get lost. And the second time she said the same thing, shadi aur tumse kabhi nahi. And though she said kabhi nahi, she meant was, chalo abhi mandir, abhi jaymala kar lete hai. Right? So it's the tone that makes the difference. In fact, in communication, our words amount for only 7% of the message. 93% comes from tone and body language. So non-verbal communication and the right tone has a very important role to play in our messaging, the way we reach out to people. And both are come from our attitude. And what is the attitude? It is something like, you know, if you have you all seen at least a picture of an iceberg, you know what it is? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So iceberg, what is the speciality? What is visible above the water?
That's very shallow, and what is below the water is very deep.
Yeah. So what is hidden is much more bigger than what we see above the water. Right? Now, in our communication, our words, knowledge, skill is what people can see visibly. They are visible. Words are heard. Our body language is seen, right? Our expressions, they are seen. Yes or no? Our skills, our
Yes.
knowledge base, that is visible to people. What is
Yes.
not visible is what we are thinking inside. Our inner thoughts, my beliefs, my attitude towards a particular thing, right? That is the hidden part. That hidden part constitutes of my thought process, my experiences, the beliefs I have developed over a period of time, my opinions, my point of views, right? They are within me. But they influence my messaging far more than what I actually speak. Now, what happens is when I speak, they get reflected. Unconsciously, sometimes subconsciously, and sometimes consciously. So, for example, I can say, Somil, the shirt you're wearing today is really very nice. And I must appreciate you for your good sense of clothing, right? Your fashion sense is really good. Are you going to feel good about this message?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, definitely. The same thing. Oh, so Somil, nice shirt you're wearing, huh? It seems like your fashion sense is improving by the day. Are you going to feel pleased with this?
No, this would be more of sarcasm because the
You will
tone
see
changed.
sarcasm because of my tone. And it is meant to be sarcastic, right? So many a times I may use the right words, but my tone may be contrary to what I am actually saying. Right? And the tone is caught on by the people very fast. And many a times you must have caught yourself also saying this thing, and you can hear other people of saying this. Look, I didn't mind what he said, but I didn't like the way he said it. Yes or no?
Yeah, true.
Isn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah,
So
true.
many times we say, अच्छा बोला तो कोई बात नहीं यार, उसने जो बोला वो ठीक है, लेकिन कैसे बोला? Right? So we draw our conclusions not just from the words. In fact, words are never enough. We draw a more concrete inference from the tone. When the words and tone match, it is a positive inference. When there is a contradiction, it is a negative inference. Agreed?
Yes.
Now, hi, Dharmesh, welcome. Like I said, the tone is not only in our verbal communication, it is there in our writing also. Right? And see, our non-verbal communication, the 93% that is, our body language, our expressions, and my tone are not very much in my control. They come out subconsciously. And when I am messaging people, the people will go by these two much more strongly than what I am actually saying. And therefore we respond. People will give a big praise, but inside, you go to a party and a friend says, oh, you're really looking very pretty. How nice, huh? The last time I saw you, there's a huge difference now. And inside your message getting is, yeah, don't try to bullshit me. I know what a cheat you are. Isn't it? So our second track keeps giving us more concrete response, more concrete, um, confirmation or affirmation of what is actually being said. And we respond by it. So I will respond either back with sarcasm or with anger, or I will choose to ignore it and make a very non-committal answer. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Despite the words being absolutely right. So somebody says, I say, oh, I'm glad you could notice. Please pay attention to my expressions also. Oh, I'm glad you could notice. I didn't think you would be that sharp. Right? Now, see, I have responded not to the words, but I have responded to the attitude, which was conveyed to me by the tone. Right? Okay. Now, in emails, having the right tone is very, very important because, like we discussed yesterday, if you are a efficient email writer, you're a professional email writer, it helps you to build your image. Yes, we saw that yesterday. Now, see, tell me one thing. Just a minute. Okay, can you read this mail? This is written by Sam. Yeah? I'm sorry.
Not yet. Visible means.
Yeah. I stopped share by mistake. Yeah, this is, can you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody?
Yes, yes, visible.
Visible. Okay,
Hmm.
great. Wait a second, please. Need to do this again. Yeah. I want you to take a moment and read this email and tell me what image of Sam comes to your mind. What kind of a person is he? Could be positive, could be negative, both. Anyways, take a moment and read it. Yes? Anything
He's
comes to
demanding
you?
an apology and compensation
No,
and
I'm not
money.
asking what he means. What kind of a person comes to your mind? What kind of a person is Sam? What image does it create in your mind about Sam?
It has been written and you can check it in nice and polite
Speak
person.
up, Dharmesh, I can't hear you.
The image that comes to the mind by reading this mail, it is like it is a very nice and kind person.
Nice and kind. Tell me how.
Because he is giving the opinion that he first at the last say the mail is
Okay,
written that
Dharmesh,
sorry.
if I send you a mail, the same mail comes to you and you open it in your mailbox and the first line is, I'm really very disappointed by your shop. What do you think? You'll say, oh, very kind person, brutally honest. मेरा भला चाहता है. You don't know him, right? So can you say he's very kind and gentle? What makes you say that? Anju, what do you think?
Acrimonious, curt.
Okay. I'm really very disappointed by your shop. So the beginning itself is starting with a bang
Hmm.
of blame, right? Then he says, I recently bought a sofa and it was just not right. Why did you buy it? Okay, maybe he bought it online. I don't know, right? Benefit of doubt. It was terribly made and a complete waste of money. Why? Right? So that means you didn't choose it correctly. At the receiving end, I will say, Are, dekha nahi kya? When I went back to complain, a shop assistant was very rude to me and she said she couldn't deal with the complaint there and then. Now, it may be possible that when he went there, maybe it was not the right time, it was a busy time. Maybe the shop assistant must have told him that there is a procedure for putting complaints, so she cannot do it right now. I don't know. Right? But she was very rude to me and said she couldn't deal with the complaint there and then. What about him? Is he now being very polite?
No.
No. So the chances are he must have also gone and spoken rudely there, because if he's rude here, he must have been rude there also. Right? Anyways, she said I should write to the manager. Okay, that is the process. Right? I think that I'm entitled to my money back. So I want a full refund, or if you cannot manage that, a credit note for the full amount. Okay, that is his right. But is this the way to demand it? Yes, of course. If he's not happy with the purchase, he can ask for a refund. He can definitely ask for a credit note. But is that the way to ask for it? And he's thinking, I think. So he's not sure. I also want an apology. plus an explanation of why I was treated so badly. But did he put in his complaint decently? I won't say nicely, but was he decent about it? Chances are that no, he wasn't. Maybe he went there and created a ruckus. Thank you for your attention. A very pathetic attempt at being polite as an afterthought. And then he says, sorry to bring this matter up. Okay, if you're sorry, then why did you bring it up? So what kind of a person is he? Somebody who's not sure, who's not confident about his actions, who's a little hypocritical, who's saying things which he doesn't really mean. So what is the overall picture you get of Sam? Rude, unprofessional, uncaring, confused, lacking confidence. So इसमें से ऐसा पता चलता है he is not sure that he is right in taking a stand. And if he is not sure, then the shop people are also not very sure whether his demand is genuine or not. Yes or no? What do you say, Anju?
Correct.
Yeah. So see, the way we communicate, even over an email. Now, he may have written this to customer complaint who has never set eyes on him. But I have created an image about himself, isn't it? He has managed to convey a very negative image of his behavior, of his thought process, what kind of a person he is. Is he likely to get support? Most likely not, right? Now, the people will also see, it is human nature. If you start blaming and pointing a finger, people start defending themselves. They start justifying. Let's look at another example. Okay. Subject line, unacceptable delay in project deliverables. I'm writing to express my profound disappointment regarding the continuous delays in the deliverables of Project X. It is extremely disheartening to witness such a lack of commitment and professionalism from your team. Despite multiple assurances, the deadlines have been consistently missed. This has not only disrupted our project timeline, but it has also jeopardized our relationship with key stakeholders. The impact of this negligence cannot be overstated, and it is causing significant operational challenges. It is imperative that you provide an immediate explanation for these delays and a concrete plan to get the project back on track. This situation is untenable, and unless we see immediate improvement, we will be forced to reconsider our partnership. I expect a prompt and satisfactory response. What do you think about this mail?
It's a very formal mail.
Yeah, of course it is. Formal.
Stating the faults.
Huh?
To the point.
Is it
Stating
to the
the
point?
fault.
Okay, it is to the point.
Fault. Yeah.
What about, so it's a good mail?
As per the company norms, yes, it is a good mail.
From the company's point of view, it's a good mail. Okay. Yes.
To the point.
Would you answer such a mail?
Yes, I would. If I'm at fault, I will.
Okay. Who's to decide you're at fault?
I myself.
Okay. I decide I'm not at fault. Right? And you may not be. Because, see, work in any organization doesn't happen in exclusivity, right? It is a group effort. And it is an interconnected action that happens continuously, right?
Right. But in the first line, he has clearly stated that it is continuous delays.
Yeah, so there can be continuous challenges other side also, no?
But it
The
is
problem could be elsewhere.
It is not specific to the particular individual. It
Okay.
is
So you
Yes,
agree
it's
that
to
it
the
is, Anju,
company.
you agree it is a good mail in the context of organizational
Yes.
communication. Somil, what
It's a
about you?
formal mail.
Yeah, it is formal. Somil?
This seems more apt.
Uh-huh.
This seems more apt.
No, I couldn't hear you. Okay.
I'm putting inputs in
Yeah,
chat
yeah,
box.
I'm seeing the chat. You can go ahead. Okay. It may be egoistic, you're saying. Okay, once revenge. You're talking about this mail only, no? High
No,
self-respect.
this was about
Previous
this
one.
was about the
Okay,
previous
okay.
one.
What
Furniture
is
wala.
so this one you're saying is more apt.
Yes.
Okay. So you are also agreeing that yes, it is good, right? Okay.
True.
Dharmesh?
Well, as per my understanding, this type of mail is specifically returned to the senior management, and it will be exclusively answered by the group head or
Okay, so
some
you're
leader.
saying that the senior manager can write something like this.
No. It will
Hmm.
be this type of mail is pointing out to the senior management of a particular organization,
Okay.
and it will not be at the lower level. This type of mail will not directly come from the outsider to the lower level.
No, it is within an organization because we're talking about a team. I understand that. But I'm
Okay.
talking about, what do you think? Is it a good mail, giving a positive message? Will it make you act upon it? If you receive this in your inbox, will your thought be, why is he blaming me? Is there a blame in that?
Yes, it's indicates
There
the
is a blame?
Yes.
Yes. So Anju has decided that yes, I am to be blamed. Somil is also saying it is at मेरे से कुछ गड़बड़ हुआ है इसीलिए मेरे को ये सुनने को मिला है. Agreed. मिला है. But do you deserve this?
No, there is nothing personal in this mail. He has continuously mentioned that there are continuous delays and there were multiple assurances, deadlines given, which were continuously missed. So it is with respect
I
to
am
the work
completely agreeing. The
culture.
context is
Yeah.
completely appropriate.
Right. So there's nothing personal in it. So it's absolutely fine.
I
in
am
my
saying
point
it is
of view.
completely personal.
Hmm.
It is starting with finger pointing.
No, I don't see any name tagged over there.
No, name, I have removed the name. That's all right. Right? Okay. See, for me, what is not working in this lane, right? Firstly, it is using harsh language, which is not required. What do you mean by profound disappointment, lack of commitment and professionalism, negligence, untenable? Would you write this in a team?
To be very honest, yes, there are such mails. But again, I would support Dharmesh ka sentence that this is not at a normal level, normal norm. These are all
I
HOD,
agreed. I'm
CEO.
taking it that it is from one mid manager to another. I'm saying a project is writing to somebody else. Okay. No
So
problem.
that is how they write it. I have gone through the mails.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying anything that is wrong with okay, chalo. Let me not take this too far. I'll come back to this slide little later. Look at this. It's the same context, the same mail, but written a little differently. Tell me which one would you prefer responding to? Starting from the subject line. A subject line that pops up in your inbox saying unacceptable delay. Does your heart miss a beat?
Yes.
Versus follow up on project S deliverables. Where do you feel more threatened?
Unacceptable delay.
The first time, right?
Yes.
Unacceptable delay in projects. You go like, oh my God, ab kya aa gaya? Right? But if it is a follow up on project S deliverables, you are a little more calm, more receptive. Okay, it's just a follow up. I have to give some report back. Right? I hope this message finds you well. Your working day in, day out doesn't mean you cannot show your good manners and a little concern. He's your colleague, right? He or she.
Correct.
And even if you are in a senior management position, does that mean you have to ride the high horse and not show consideration and empathy to people who are working under you? Can you not be a decent human being? Please. I'm writing to follow up on the status of the deliverables for Project X. Very non-threatening. We have noticed several delays that are impacting our project timeline. The same thing he is saying, but he's saying it in a very different way. We have noticed several delays that are impacting our project line and wanted to discuss how we can address these challenges together. See, what is the basic difference you are saying? It is not accusing. It is not putting a blame. It is merely stating a fact that, okay, it has been noticed that there are project deadlines that are not being met. Right? Let us find out, okay, address these challenges together. See, Anju, if you look at the first mail, right? Somehow what it is saying is, you are to be blamed. It is because of you that the delay is happening. When
No, I
you
don't
say
believe
lack of
so.
commitment and professionalism from your team, you are pointing a finger at the people. Whereas this line is talking about the issue. It is not accusing. What is giving you the right to accuse? There could be some genuine challenges. So you don't go about finger pointing people or team like that. See, what is the underlying implication here? When you say that the team is not professional and there is lack of commitment, that means you have failed as a leader. That means you're not doing your job. Isn't that harsh? See, very often the problem with us is we confuse authority with power.
No, but my opinion is different. I don't find anything wrong in both the mails. The first one is
I
a
am
little
not
harsh.
saying it is
Agree.
wrong. Anju, get my point. He has
The second
every
one is
right.
more considerate. That is the only
Exactly. He
Yes,
has
that's the
every
only
right.
difference.
It is part of his job to inquire why the delays are happening and to point out the flaws. But can it be done in a more considerate manner? That is where the
Yes.
tone comes in.
Correct.
We're talking about the tone, right?
Right.
I'm not talking about the words, the context, right? But my words contribute to my tone.
It is an indication of the image or reflection of a particular person who is
Yes.
writing this.
Yes. And to answer your question, like I was saying, see, authority becomes a little, dictatorial. Whereas good leaders seldom exert authority. In fact, it is a bad leader who uses authority to establish his leadership. A good leader will always look for collaboration. He will look for consideration. He will not jump to conclusions and make statements like, okay, your team is lacking commitment and professionalism. These are very high, what shall I say? They are very tough words. Would you take them, Anju? I wouldn't. And I'm sorry, I've worked in corporates and I've worked at very high positions. I wouldn't take this. Not for me, not for my team. You cannot use such harsh language, right? Then look at this. Now, what is happening over here? He is using I to just say, I am writing. The rest is we. It means it is our project. I am in it with you. We are a team. Very often, people in mid and senior positions forget one very critical part. And that is, while they have a team, they are also part of a team. The minute people become leaders, the minute they become managers, people think, oh, हम तो अभी equation से बाहर आ गए. अब I'm going to tell people how they should work. No, I'm sorry. When you use a word like we, are you likely to get more support or less support?
More.
Definitely.
We is a team.
We is a team, and we are a team, isn't it? It doesn't matter. XYZ fails means even I fail. So there are so many good things going in that. One, there is support. One, there is willingness to consider that, there could be problems. There is inclusiveness. There's, I'm also in it. I support you. Let us find a solution together. Then we understand that unforeseen circumstances can arise, and we would like to better understand any obstacles your team might be facing.
In the first mail, it is also indicating that the starting of the project itself is not done. Where in the second mail, it is asking about the updated position. What is the current status?
No, the
Like,
whole
Yeah,
mail
that's
is asking
quite
about
different.
follow-up only, no? So the issue of follow-up is the first two lines are stating why we want a follow-up, because we are noticing there are delays,
correct.
right? So rather than making it a very point blank, gun point inquiry, why is there a delay? He has just said, okay, I want a follow-up. Nobody is confused over here that this is, I'm not being, kya bolna chahiye, pulled on the carpet. In fact, when you get a mail like this, your sense of, not doing what is expected out of you becomes even higher, and you say, Arey Bapre, these people are showing so much trust in me, and look how I'm letting them down. Whereas in the first thing, how dare he say that? Oh, professionalism, lack of professionalism. I'll show you what it is. And then I'll create more hassles, I'll create more hurdles. Whereas here, my sense of responsibility suddenly gets more heightened, and I say, no, I have to get this done. Our goal is to find a way to support each other and ensure the project is completed. Secondly, when in the first line, he's giving somebody a benefit of doubt, rather than coming to a conclusion summarily that, oh, it is, you're not committed, you're not professional, you're not skillful enough, you don't have the knowledge, blah, blah, blah. But it's a very non-committed, non-finger pointing, non-threatening statement that, okay, we understand unforeseen circumstances can arise. They are not saying have arisen. So there is a benefit of doubt. But here also is saying, okay, let us sit and talk about it. How can I help? How can we put our heads together and help the team to move ahead? Could we schedule a meeting to discuss the current status and develop a plan to get back on our track? Now, look at this. It is imperative that you provide an immediate explanation for these delays and a concrete. What do you mean by imperative? Unfortunately, we have got used to this kind of language. We think this is the official formal language, whereas it is just bad manners and it just reflects your attitude. It shows your narrow vision. It shows your lack of understanding for what problems people are having. It is showing you as a person who just wants to exert his authority and not do anything to help. Will this kind of attitude take you very far in the organization? No. See, the person to whom you're writing will willy-nilly respond and get the job done because that is what he's getting paid for. But will he have respect for you? Will he, when the time comes, will he be there to support you? Most critical question. Writing like this to somebody, does it make you feel good about yourself? I wouldn't feel good writing a mail like this. And then we hide it under the cap. क्या करें? ऐसे ही लोगों से काम निकालना पड़ता है. लोग सुनते नहीं हैं. It's not लोग सुनते नहीं है. आपको बोलना नहीं आता है. और आपको बोलना इसलिए नहीं आता है क्योंकि आपके एटीट्यूड में आपका एटीट्यूड है मी बॉस यू लिसन टू व्हाट आई हैव टू से. So your attitude is I am superior, you're inferior, now you do what I'm saying. And if you're not doing that, you're this and that. So you see how our attitude is connected to how we convey messages. But if my attitude is okay, we are part of a team, my role is to provide support. So let me ask, how can I support? Okay, there may be a genuine reason for that delay. It's not that people are not working. But sometimes, without knowing the full context, we draw conclusions. And I'm sure the person who got this mail would have said, yes, he's right in asking me for a follow-up. But did he have to write a mail like this and call me unprofessional and lacking commitment and blame my team members when they're working so hard? And who does he think he is to say it is imperative that you give me an explanation? What do you mean? Has he come and seen what problems I have? Where is his support? Where is his facilitation? Is he even showing an inclination to provide that? No. So how am I going to respond? I'm going to respond. Obviously, I'll either dig in my heels and defend myself, or I will go on my offensive and, make things more difficult. So there is a blaming tone. There is lack of constructive feedback. It demands an explanation, but it doesn't offer any suggestions or a willingness to collaborate to find a solution. Threatening consequences, right? The mention of reconsidering a partnership comes off as a threat. That is worse. When you start blackmailing people, when you start threatening people, if you do this, we will terminate the contract. Or there will be severe consequences that may result in loss of job. And there's total lack of empathy. That person may be having some genuine problems. Find out first. Yes, Anju, anything to say? Could we schedule a meeting to discuss? We appreciate your attention. Have you noticed one thing? He's not talking, he's not using I or you. He's using
but I'm sorry,
collective,
my opinion is
collective
different.
pronoun we. So what is it giving? It's building the receiver's confidence. Okay, don't worry, I'm there. We are in this together. We'll find a way. Doesn't that give you a sense of, a confidence that, yes, I'm not alone in this. There is a problem, but I'll get help. We'll sort it out. And he's offering a concrete solution. Let's sit down and discuss it. That fellow is not even bothering. No, just tell me what is going wrong. It is imperative that you give an explanation. Are? किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल ऑपरेशनल सिनेरियो में कोई खुद से तो प्रॉब्लम अपने लिए खड़ी नहीं करता है ना. Nobody likes challenges, but they come. And if you have a colleague, if you have a boss who can be this supportive, or a client or a customer or any other stakeholder who can show this kind of consideration, will you not go out of your way to help and support him? Yes, because ultimately I need to get a response, right? Now, of these two bosses who have written these two different mails, who is likely to get more faster response, Somil?
Second one.
Yes. What you shared in the chat, the answer is yes. But what about my question, Somil or Anju? Which one will you prefer to respond to faster?
See, in my opinion, both are different scenarios.
No, they are not.
I have the former. The former is the language used by the HODs, CEOs for people who are underperformers and they're not performing even
I am
after
saying
being
something
given.
different.
Yes. Please let me clear my doubt here as well. And the second one has a different feeling altogether, where a person is talking about as a team. So in the first one, according to me, if we are talking about
So
tone,
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you. So are you saying the first one is more of a disciplinary mail?
no, I never said that. I said there are two different scenarios I see.
They are the same scenarios. The context is the same. There is a delay in a project timeline, right? The project is not being delivered on time.
Right. Like I said, there are underperformers even after being given continuous warnings. They don't perform on time, because of which the company has to suffer, and then finally they're blacklisted and thrown out
Look,
of the company. So the first mail.
every company, Anju, let's be practical, right?
Hmm.
Will deal with underperformers only up to a certain point.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So this mail, the first mail, could be because of that one reason.
No,
because
so it is not a warning letter. It is not a warning letter. It is a warning letter will say, because you have not been able to do this, henceforth we are not able to go along with it.
Right, but then there is a threat, right? If you don't do it, or in future,
Even a
if it is
warning
not
letter
done,
is
then
written differently. You
the
see the recording.
consequences
You
will be
see the recording of yesterday's session, and you'll understand.
Hmm.
Go through the documents that I have shared, and you will understand the difference.
Okay.
Right? What I'm saying is, Anju, however severe the circumstances, how you deal with it is a reflection of your personality and your attitude. And people will
honestly,
react to your personality and your attitude, not to your title.
But in most of the companies, I think
That is
Dharmesh
why,
would
that
agree
is
that
why,
they have a
that is
format.
why, that is
They
why,
only have to change the names,
that is
and
why,
they're not supposed to change the format.
that is why trainers like me are required. And believe me, I'm teaching email writing to very senior managers because they don't know how to talk to their people. And their biggest problem is, oh, हमने तो मेल, हम ऐसा करते कोई हमारी सुनता नहीं है, कैसे सुनेगा? If you sit on a high horse and you command people, which is actually demand, not even command, because people do not understand these subtle differences. Leadership is a very vast topic. Right? And people do not even understand the context of management. Just the other day, I was having a training session on transformative leadership, and we were talking about how to create an environment where people bring out the best in them. And the productivity and the efficiency increases many folds. And the understanding was that when managers become leaders, right, they still continue to manage, or rather micromanage. Dharmesh, you remember the example I had said? The organization engine? Anju, there are three
Yes.
levels to it, right? The bottom level is the executors who are told what they have to do.
Yes.
And their job is to just perform that task.
And if they fail to do so, then the formal letter goes to them
I'm not
up
talking
to a
about that.
certain period
I'm
of
not.
time.
Just don't be so obsessed with throwing people out. Understand what I'm saying.
No, I'm just explaining my
Okay.
point of view that there are two different feelings
No.
I'm getting
You
from both
listen
the
to me
letters.
first. The
Sure.
the possibility of asking somebody to quit is at any level. Right? It is not just for those. Even if the company directors don't perform, they are kicked out.
Yes, definitely.
Right? So it doesn't matter. Right? What I'm saying is the bottom level needs to execute. Samil, are you listening to this very carefully? The mid-level are managers. What is the role of a manager? What the word says, he has to manage.
Manage, get the work done.
He's a facilitator. He has to get the work done. People forget when they become managers, they still continue to do the work. And that's when they start believing that, oh, they couldn't get it done. So probably in the first instance, that manager is somebody who doesn't have confidence in his management capabilities. And he doesn't even have his role clarity. He is not there to boss. He is there to facilitate. A manager is a facilitator. It is his job to provide resources, to smoothen the obstacles, to clear away the challenges. But most managers think it is my job to tell the other person, but tell him though how to do it. He'll do it. But that how has to come from you. So it is your job to see where the bottlenecks are happening, why, okay, there is a delay. So are you going to blame the other person and say, because you are underperforming? That is a very big
No, that is a different scenario.
That is a very big accusation. You cannot say that without proof. So using that very casually like this in every mail, nahi karega to, or else, do work, perform, or else. That's a very bad management. Can you see the difference? Right? Whereas this job, this guy is doing exactly what his role is. Firstly, he does not lose sight of the fact that he's part of the team. He's not outside the team. His role is a little more enhanced. While he doesn't have to get down on his knees and get his hands dirty, he has to see that his team is facilitated. And that is why he says we. And that sense of support is very essential for team management. Any business, any organization works on projects, process, and people, right? We become so obsessed with project and process, people don't think about people. Whereas business is all about people. It is not about who's going to run the project and the process.
A team.
The people, na? But if you don't have the people with the right attitude, with the right mindset, with the right approach to their work, and if you don't facilitate them, are you going to get results? Now, I'm sure a team member who must have got that first mail, poor fellow must have replied something to save his ass. But he has made a lifelong enemy out of his boss. And he will utilize every instance where he can create a obstacle for his boss, he will use it. Not only that, he will go around telling people what an asshole this guy is. So bang goes your image, bang goes your professionalism, bang goes your support. And then you say, oh, my team is not with me. Because most people have the complaint that the reason I'm not able to get results is because I don't have the right kind of people with me. It is never that. It's because you haven't created the right environment for your people to work. And that comes with your interaction, how you deal with people. Everybody wants respect, but they think that my title will bring me respect. No, it's your behavior. And respect has a rule. You have to give it first to receive it. But everybody waits. If I will receive respect, I will give. No, it doesn't happen that way. Trust, respect, and love can never be asked for. They are given and only then you can reciprocate. If you give it, you will get it. If you don't give it, you're not going to get it. Right? Okay, coming back to because we have a lot to talk about. I can talk a lot on this. So tone in email writing refers to your attitude or the emotional character you convey through your choice of words, your sentence structure, and overall style. Right? Does this answer?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry, the phone battery is very low.
No
I
issues.
couldn't
No
charge it.
issues. No
It
issues.
can
No issues.
conk off.
You can put it on battery.
There's no electricity, no?
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah, that's what I said, no?
Okay. So you're
There
saying
is
that.
2% battery.
Okay. So
So
we'll
we'll
wait
take
for
it
that
as far
2%.
as far as it goes. Yeah, hopefully.
Okay. So it influences how the message is received and interpreted by the reader. Right? So a well-defined tone will align the purpose of the email, the relationship between the sender and the recipient, and the context of the communication. So these three things become very vital. So you have to align
Okay,
your
now I'm clear
purpose,
with
the
this.
context, and the relationship, right?
After this sheet, I'm clear.
You're a clearer. Very
After this sheet, because with both the mails, I was getting different feelings altogether.
No, I'll tell you, Anju, since you're a language teacher, maybe we'll have a discussion sometime later outside this
Sure,
plan, right? We
Sure.
have not been taught. We are not taught how to deal. Unfortunately, that's why I'm making money these days. Okay. Okay. Key aspects of tone in email writing. So these are the things that are important. Of course, word choice comes first. With words, if you say
Choice of
of
words, yeah.
professionalism, it's a very harsh word, right? The formality level, as you rightly pointed out, between levels, between stakeholders, right? So the context and decides that. Punctuation is very, very important, right? Your punctuation can make or break your conversation. There's a very interesting thing I want to share, right? The power of a comma.
Yeah, that's very common. I use it.
Yes.
I use
So don't spoil it for the others, please. Let it be our secret. So Dharmesh, Somil, I don't know if Poonam is there or not. I think she has a network issue. This is for both of you, Somil and there was a survey done. And what these people did is they separated men from women. So one group men, one group women. And they were given this sentence and they were asked to put a comma where they felt appropriate. Okay. Now, the group of men put the comma like this. They put a comma after woman and they put without her man. They put a comma and they completed the sentence, right? So now if you read the sentence, woman without her man is incomplete. What do you understand? That for a woman, man is very, very important, and without him, she is incomplete. Right, Dharmesh?
Yes.
Right. The women had a different opinion. They put the comma here. Woman, without her, man is incomplete. Now, what does it imply? That if there is no woman, man is incomplete. Men thought if woman doesn't have a man, she is incomplete. Now, can you see just by placing that comma at different places, the whole meaning of the context of the whole sentence has changed? Right? So understand the punctuation principles clearly. हम unknowingly, unthinkingly comma लगा देते हैं because we think comma is only for addition. But comma in English is a pause. And that pause can make a lot of difference because it changes your tone. Right? I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. I'm taking pauses at different places and it is changing the meaning of what I am saying. Right? Politeness and respect, empathy and understanding, constructiveness, or I'm sorry, there should be a slash over there, solution oriented. Provide solutions. So there has to be an email like how we saw in the last sample. Can we get together to discuss how we can solve this? Now, this is a constructive idea, isn't it? It is oriented towards finding a solution, not blaming, and not giving a summary, authority, explain why this has happened. No, let's find out. We are in it together. Let's find out. Right? These are some examples of different tones. You can see the same context, formal tone. Dear Mr. Smith, the opening will be, see, look at the subject line. Request for project update. Look at the language. I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing to request an update. As the deadline approaches, we would like to ensure, right? The same thing in an informal tone will be different. Look, the subject line has changed. A quick check-in on project X. Now I'm writing this to maybe another team member, right? So I hope you're doing well. Just wanted to check in how. So the language is a little more casual. It is a little more informal, right? We are getting close to the deadline and I wanted to see if there is anything we need. It's more conversational. Similarly, look at a positive tone. Okay, great progress on project X. I hope we're having a great day. I wanted to touch base on project X. It looks like we are now, this is appreciating it. So it's more positive. It's encouraging. The same thing in a negative tone, project X delays, urgent. I'm extremely concerned about the continuous delays. See, the choice of words, the punctuations, the politeness, right? Everything changes. So what kind of tone should I use? Usually, generally, what kind of tone can I use?
Formal.
Anybody?
Out of these four, I would suggest we will use
Formal?
formal. Yes.
Okay. What do you say, Anju?
Formal and positive.
Formal and positive, right? See, most of the time for business messages, you use the same kind of tone, which is formal and positive. Overall tone has to be confident, courteous, and sincere. You do not use non-discriminatory language. That means you cannot discriminate on the basis of gender, sex, cultural orientation, so on and so forth. Right? Stress on the you attitude. We discussed the you attitude yesterday. That's about showing people their benefit, keeping people first, right? And how by acceding to your request or your need, they will benefit because people will work faster when they can see a benefit for themselves. Right? So probably boss A, if he could have written that, look, the sooner we meet and we work out these challenges, the better it will be for the project to be delivered on time. And if the project is delivered on time, is the team not going to benefit? Of course it is going to benefit. Right? And an appropriate level of difficulty, this comes when we take into account who are we writing to. Are we writing to senior person, same level, or junior? One. Second, am I writing to technical or non-technical? Right? So if I'm writing to a lay person, a fresher, I will use a different type of language. My level of difficulty will be more simple. Whereas if I'm writing to an expert, I may be able to use jargons, though that is not very advisable. But in case you're writing to the expert, you can. But the difficulty level will be a little higher because you will use more complex language. The same thing when you write to your seniors, it will be more formal. Right? So major exceptions come when we write a negative business message, like we deny a job offer, or we deny a customer request, or we reject a proposal or a contract or whatever. So any negative business message, then you have to moderate it according to the context. But otherwise, generally in business messages, you need to worry about these things. Right?
No, actually, I have one clarity for that.
I beg your pardon?
I wanted to have one clarity for that unacceptable delay of project mails. That is a very harsh language used by the person.
Yes.
I wanted to understand the person who is writing this mail. Maybe he is exactly aware of the repercussion of writing this message or mail. And as per my understanding, this type of mail should not be written. That is true. Instead of writing a mail, can't it be a verbal communication in a threatening way? Because this mail also creates an evidence. It may be used somewhere in a, like you say, ki
that is
the
your
people.
discretion. That is how much worried you are. Right? But very often people write such mails. And Dharmesh, what happens is, because we have been, unfortunately, our schools and colleges, we are not taught how to communicate.
Correct. Yes.
Right? And we still follow those old time, the British decorum, whereas things have changed today. We have gone very far ahead. And with so much of technology coming in, a lot of things have changed. Sometimes people become too casual because they don't know the difference between a WhatsApp message and a business message. But most of the time, the problems come because their attitudes are not right. Because what you write in the email comes only from your attitude. And that is why, since you are a student of mine, you are understanding communication. How many times have I told you it's all about your head? Haven't we talked ample times about that?
Yes.
Yes. Our communication, it is a behavioral skill. That means people will respond depending on what they think about others and what they think about themselves. So if a person inside feels low on confidence, has low self-esteem, has low self-worth, will be more dictatorial in his and authoritative in his approach to others. Because he feels by showing that authority, he can command people. A person who's very self-assured, has a very high self-worth and self-values and self-respect, will never disrespect the other people because he understands the value of that. And that is why I keep saying, to understand communication, you have to first understand your own self. Why we are spending so much time on that, isn't it?
Yes, correct.
Right? So if your attitude, the dial is fixed correctly, everything will set correct. And the tone that is why so strongly related to your attitude. Because what I think of you is what I will unconsciously convey to you. And it gets conveyed because our subconscious is very sharp and it picks the signals very fast. And we respond to our subconscious mind, not our conscious mind. It's never about what I have been told. It's about what that other person makes me feel about myself. If he makes me feel little, I will respond in the same way I will make him feel little. If he makes me feel empowered, I will respond to him in an empowered way. Right? So be confident, prepare carefully. You should have a good knowledge of your subject matter, right? But there is a fine line between confidence and overconfidence. So check for that, right? For example,
Yes.
there is an example. You must agree that I am qualified for the position. If somebody sends you a mail like this, you'll say, Acha, how did you decide? But if I say my qualification in the areas of accounting and customer service meet your job requirement, you're more likely to give him a job. Similarly, be courteous and sincere. It builds goodwill. And your sincerity in tone will prove your authenticity. It will show your integrity, it will show your honesty, it will show your transparency, and people will respond more positively to that. Right? But if you are polite but not sincere, people are not going to fall for that fake narrative. Then it is condescending. In fact, it has the opposite effect. The receiver thinks, oh, he thinks I'm a fool. Right? So consider words and phrases you use and how your reader is likely to receive them. Right? You didn't read the instruction carefully, thus your system has shut down. तुम्हारा ही गलती है, you are an idiot, you don't know anything, you don't know how to use technology. But if I say the system may automatically shut down if any installation errors occur, neither am I blaming you nor am I showing off my knowledge. Right? So I'm not putting you high and low. We are at the same plane. In fact, we are not there in the picture at all. It is the system. It can happen to anybody. Isn't it? Now, where will you respect the person more? Obviously here. Okay, non-discriminating language, like I told, you cannot use language that is, sexist, religion, ethnicity, race, age, sexual orientation, disability. You have to be very careful about that. Huh? And company policies are very strict about this these days, particularly if you're working in the global market. Stress the benefits for the reader, what we were talking about yesterday, the viewpoint, right from the reader's perspective, what is in it for him? सब अपना फायदा देखते हैं तो दिखाओ ना. So if I send a mail saying I'm processing your order tomorrow, Dharmesh, what comes to your mind first?
It does not give the importance to me.
मेरे को ऐसा कोई मेल में आएगा कि आई एम प्रोसेसिंग योर ऑर्डर टुमारो, सो आई से इतने दिन से क्या कर रहा था? Oh, so he hasn't even started with my job. So one is my irritation that he doesn't take me seriously. For him, this job is not important. Just give me a minute. Right? And he doesn't value
Correct.
me at all. Am I going to give him the order next time? No. But if I write that your order will be available in 2 weeks, what comes to my mind? Arey, he's working very hard. मिल जाएगा, 2 हफ्ते में मिल जाएगा. He's working on my project. He's serious about it. He's committed. Right? isn't it? So the possibility of me continuing to give him orders is going to be higher. Because I have got that understanding that he cares for me. He values my time, he values my project, he values my effort. Right? So, if you don't sound self-centered and uninterested, people, किसी को भी अच्छा नहीं लगता ना. Everybody wants to be valued. Right, Somil? Somil is not even answering in the chat now. I think we have lost him. No, he's there. Okay. Okay. Write an appropriate level of difficulty. So who are you writing to? Who's your audience? Right? So your style of writing will change according to your audience. I already explained. If it's a senior person, you will use a different style. Junior will be, right? So the basic moral of the story is that a competent writer will match the needs and abilities of the reader. राइट अगर आप एक एक्सपर्ट को हर चीज एक्सप्लेन करके बताएंगे ही विल गेट इरिटेटेड. ये तो मुझे पता है, ये क्या बता रहा है. सीनियर मेंबर को आप कैजुअली तो कभी भी नहीं करोगे ना. व्हाट काइंड ऑफ टोन शुड बी यूज्ड इन राइटिंग नेगेटिव मैसेजेस. It is important to consider tone when you are writing negative. Negative messages can be rejections. Mostly they are rejections, right? So again, negative messages, you need to be more sincere and more gracious, more polite. Thank the reader for their input or involvement, right? Give a valid reason of why you cannot comply with their wishes, why you have to reject. Don't just write, we are unable to process your request. But why? Everybody owes an explanation. That is also a mark of your showing respect to the other person by giving him that explanation. Right? Okay. Look at these two examples. Thank you for offering me the position as general manager at so-and-so. Unfortunately, I'm unable to accept the position. I did not think that the position you offered me would utilize my communication and customer service skills to the degree I wanted. Therefore, I have accepted a position as assistant director at a different company. अबे आपको कोई ऐसा रिस्पॉन्ड भेजेगा, what do you think is this guy?
ये समझता क्या है अपने आप को ऐसा.
समझता क्या है अपने आप को, राइट? एंड लुक हाउ ही शोइंग ऑफ. तुमने तो मेरे को जनरल मैनेजर दिया, मैं असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर ले रहा हूँ, मेरे को क्या करना है उससे? Am I going to be respectful in my response to him? Probably I will not even bother. But if somebody writes like this, thank you for offering me the position as GM. I appreciate your prompt and generous offer. Unfortunately, I'm unable to accept the position. I have accepted a different position that will allow me to utilize. He's not blaming. He's not saying that you're not giving me the right designation. You're not giving me the right job. He's just saying that I have found something better that where I'll be able to utilize my skills in a stronger way. But thank you anyway. And he's not showing off. He's not, ये क्या कर रहा है, ये बोल रहा है तुमको मेरे उसकी कीमत नहीं है. You don't value me. Right? You valued me only as a GM, but now somebody has offered me directorship. Right? So, in some negative messages, right, you may have to address faults or issues concerning an individual. They are more difficult to write. Right? So I do not understand why you made such discriminatory marks. The golden rule is please don't use I, don't use you. Look at the line. Discriminatory remarks are not tolerated in this organization. I'm neither blaming you nor am I exerting my authority. Very non-committal. So how do we set the right tone? We consider the audience, we match the context by being clear and direct, not going round and round, beating around the bush, using a positive language, and review and revising. Always review, revise, proofread your mails. They're very, very important. Don't hit the send button unless and until you are completely satisfied, right? Now, the question is how to maintain positivity. 6 very valuable tips. This is just some gyan. Okay. You can read it when you all revise. Okay, positive words, right? A positive language will have these qualities. It will talk more about solutions. It will talk about what is possible. It will give choices and alternatives. It will encourage people, be helpful, offer support, not bureaucratic. Like the first example was bureaucratic. It is imperative that you give me an explanation. That is bureaucracy language. It includes optimistic and confident words as can, will, be able to, right? And it will stress on, emphasize on the positive consequences or the positive actions. On the other hand, a negative language focuses more on what cannot be done. So it will not offer any choices. It will not offer any alternatives. It will have a tone of blaming. It will accuse very subtly, but it will accuse. There will be more negative words. There will be more use of no, not, can't, won't, unable to, impossible, not acceptable, unacceptable, right? And of course, it doesn't talk about any positive consequences. It only talks about negative. So there will be threat, there will be blame, all very subtle, underlined. Reframing bad news. How do you reframe bad news? एक तो होता है giving the bad news, but you can reframe it. You can present it in such a way that even the bad doesn't sound bad.
Right.
Somil, are you there? Can you type a yes for my comfort?
Actually, my network is come and go, so I'm very inconsistently there.
Okay,
The
okay.
meeting.
Okay, right? Okay, fine, fair enough. So, you know, the classic example of that is I'm very fond of that conversation in that Sholay movie when, you know, that Amitabh Bachchan goes with a proposal, marriage proposal to Basanti's Masi. Do you remember that, Somil, Dharmesh?
Yes, yes.
Yes? Yeah, ऐसा करता है. See how he reframes all negatives, but he puts them across like as if they're just no big deal. है ना? If
Yes.
not, you can revisit it again. See, look at the example here. I am very sorry that we have missed the deadline and not completed the project on time. Now, this is really very, very bad news. But instead of saying that, I say it as it is taking longer than expected to complete the project to the standard that we all want. The same news, but I have put it differently. अब फर्क क्या है इसमें? ये तो upfront है. मेरे दिमाग में क्या आता है? Oh, disaster. I'm not going to get my project completed on time. That means my other things will get delayed. These people have missed the deadline, you know. Suddenly my stress level will go higher. Yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
But if I say, okay, it's taking longer than expected to complete the project to the standard that we all want. Oh, they're very quality conscious people. They don't just want to give me anything. Never mind, please take one more week, but give me the best. So my stress level has suddenly gone. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get an absolutely, high standard quality work. It's all right if they're taking a little time. तो focus उसने कहाँ shift कर दिया? नहीं मिलने से क्वालिटी पे फोकस डाल दिया कि ठीक है थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा लेकिन आपको चीज बहुत बढ़िया मिलेगी। इसको रीफ्रेमिंग बोलते हैं, राइट? ये प्रैक्टिस करना चाहिए, स्किल है एक्चुअली, right? Now, instead of delivering the news about the deadline, your message is emphasizing the importance you have placed on the project. कि अरे हम इतने concerned हैं कि हम आपको अपना best quality work देना चाहते हैं। तो वो not finished is मेरा उस पे focus ही नहीं जाता है। Look at this. A gift shop displayed this sign. You break it, you buy it. बड़ा sign लगाया उन्होंने. You break it, you buy it. Do you think customers went into that shop? No. अरे थोड़ा इधर उधर हाथ लग गया तो हमको बेकार में वो चीज खरीदनी पड़ेगी। So what is the shop actually telling the people? Stay away from us. अंदर मत घुसना। Get your clumsy self away from our stuff. Don't touch it. Don't come inside our shop. You think anybody is going to go there? No. But उसके सामने वाली दुकान ने लिखा all of our pieces are new and are treasured. If you break one, we will gladly wrap it for you. वो ऐसे बोल रहे हैं जैसे अगर आपने कोई चीज तोड़ी तो हम आपको गिफ्ट कर देंगे। मेरा कॉन्फिडेंस कहाँ है ज्यादा? वेयर एम आई मोर कॉन्फिडेंट ऑफ वॉकिंग इनटू द शॉप? फर्स्ट और सेकंड? सेकंड ना, right? Of course, they have not mentioned. See, when you say you buy it, that means you'll have to pay a price for it. These people are saying, we will gladly wrap it for you. Are they going to leave the money? No. But they're not taking the focus on the money. They are putting the focus on, oh, it will come to you as a gift. We'll wrap it up for you. Don't worry. And at the same time, they're saying, our pieces are all new and treasured. So we're giving you quality product. You will be extra careful while moving around that shop. You'll take care that your children don't go and mess up with something. Right? So it keeps the readers alert, but also respects their presence. Right? Good news, bad news. Again, it is good to use the sandwich method. Right? Somil, you're back with us. Okay, Dharmesh knows what the sandwich method is, but it's like a sandwich. Yes. Right? In sandwich, we have 2 slices of bread and in between we have the filling. Right? We use this method even for giving feedback. So essentially it is praise, feedback, then cover it up with praise. That is the sandwich method. The good news, bad news is give the bad news upfront. Always. If you're giving somebody a bad news, give it upfront. Uske liye don't create a context for it. Don't beat around the bush. But then end it on a good note. You talk about, the positive side also. If a solution is required, give the solution. The point is, end it on a happy note, end it on a good, positive note. See, even if when you are sending a rejection to a proposal or to a product, right? You never know when this person will be useful for you in the future. So why you want to close the doors? Instead, you give the bad news, but you give it, end it on such a point where, the person has the respect for you, is still your friend, does not hesitate to contact you again. Also gives you the confidence to contact him again when you need him. There, then you will not have to work from the scratch and try to build a goodwill and then he will do your work. Right? So, first rule, give it straight. right? If it is a constructive feedback, use the sandwich method. First praise, be positive, then give the bad news, and then again follow it up with a positive message, right? Emphasize the positives. Now, how you give the message, this is also something similar to reframing. Students can use the discount card for any CMS product except pharmaceuticals to receive 20% off their purchase. So what they have done, they have put the negative information in the center. So students can use the discount card for any CMS product except pharmaceuticals. And they will get 20% discount. Now, what will catch everybody's attention? Any CMS product. And 20% of the purchase. Beginning and end. See, the human brain responds to the beginning and the end. So put the bad news in the center, where it impacts minimum. फोकस में यहाँ पे क्या आया, मेरे को डिस्काउंट मिल रहा है, सीएमएस प्रोडक्ट पे मिल रहा है, 20% मिल रहा है, जाएंगे सब. ओ अच्छा, फार्मास्यूटिकल्स पे नहीं है, ओ ओके. आपने बताया नहीं? नहीं बताया था, लिखा है ना. इट्स लाइक जैसे आप बैंकर्स वो नीचे एक्स्ट्रेस डाल के छोटा छोटा लिखते हो ना.
Yes, yes.
डिस्क्लेमर्स.
PNC apply.
हाँ, वो डिस्क्लेमर के बेसिस पे कितने लीगल इश्यूज में से आप बाहर निकल जाते हो, है ना. आपका लीगल डिपार्टमेंट तो सिर्फ वो डिस्क्लेमर्स को ही पढ़ता रहता है. हाँ, लेकिन सर आपने डॉक्यूमेंट में नहीं, यहाँ लिखा है ना, ये लाइन के नीचे ये 3 छोटे स्टार्स में, जिसको मेरे को एक मैग्नीफाइंग ग्लास लेके पढ़ना पड़ेगा. It is all putting the bad news in the center, making it very unimportant. And drawing the focus on the positives, removing the focus from the negative. Right? All employees must follow the dress code. Sounds like an order, right? And a lot of people will say, why should I do that? But if you say employees can wear casual clothing as long as it is work appropriate on Fridays, okay. Built-in problems. What is my target's perspective? Who am I writing to? Okay. मुझे पता चल रहा है कि उसका ये पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है और ये थोड़ा सा फिक्स्ड है. इसको मैं कैसे अपने तरफ चेंज कर सकता हूँ? हम क्या होता है, हम अपना स्टैंड लेके खड़े हो जाते हैं. We have to be able to adapt our communication to the understanding of our receiver. So sometimes we have to first work on the understanding of the receiver and then get our job done. Because unless and until you create the right environment in that person's mind, he will not receive your ideas. So first work on the perspective, the understanding of your audience. If he's difficult, see where you have to change his point of view. Because unless and until you change that point of view, he's not going to comply. Then we become stubborn, we become, dominating, we become authoritarian, and it only leads to conflict. Right? So don't get carried away or get demotivated because the receiver has a different point of view. See how you can moderate that, how you can adjust that. There's no point in getting angry or frustrated. being stubborn, उससे तो कुछ होने नहीं वाला है. That if you take that route, you have failed the first step itself. So instead of getting frustrated, why is this man not thinking like me? Focus on what are the things that you have to change. So maybe sometimes I may have be able to catch my nose straight. Sometimes maybe I'll have to do it roundabout. But I cannot go on saying, why can't he do this? Why can't he do this? Why can't he do this? That's not going to solve any problem. So put yourself in their shoes. That's the last step. Try to feel how they would feel. When you write an email, see, मुझे कोई इस तरह की email लिखेगा, how would I feel? If I am at the receiving end. The rule is if you're getting neutral to a positive response, okay, fine, you can hit the send button. But if you're feeling, I wouldn't like to get this, start again. Start from point number 1. Check where you are going wrong. Right? See, 10% of the conflict is not due to difference of opinion, but 90% is because the way that opinion is delivered. Right? So tone is very, very important. Okay, so I'm going to share with you 2 documents. This is a checklist. Okay, ये बहुत काम की चीज है. अगर आप मेल लिखते हो और इस चेकलिस्ट को फॉलो करते हो, eventually you will be able to hit the right tone. It will take some practice, but this checklist is giving you, how do I understand my audience? How do I choose the appropriate tone, right? How to, so it talks about all the points that are important, right up till proofreading. What is more important is how this example can be, this is an example checklist. So ask yourself these questions: audience and purpose. Have I identified my relationship with the audience? What is my purpose? The tone that I have selected, is it suitable? Right? Then you will be able to also see how to apply it. So when you have written your mail, check with this application. Audience and purpose. So who's my audience? Have I got the right audience? So actually likho, yes, I'm writing to senior management, I'm writing to team member, writing to a client, I'm writing to a customer. What is the purpose? Is my purpose clear? Is my tone appropriate? What kind of a tone is it? Empathetic and supportive, positive, authoritarian, formal, informal? Language, am I using the right words? Good words, am I using positive words? Language clarity, right? Structure and formatting, is my email, is the subject line clear? Am I using a proper greeting? Is my content clearly organized, right? Then review and reading, read aloud. अगर आपके कानों को वो अच्छी लग रही है तो सामने वाले के लिए ठीक है. अगर आप जब बोल रहे हो and if you are finding it harsh to your ears, then you need to rectify it. Read it aloud and ensure that the tone is supportive and there is spelling, grammar, or proofreading you have to do. So this is something which you can print and keep with yourself. And maybe if you use it a little extensively for about a month or so, you will be able to get some level of competency in getting the right tone in your emails. Right? The other thing that I want to share is a small worksheet. Right? I wanted to do it with you all here, but then people are missing. So you can do this exercise on your own, right? So there are these different mails given and you have to complete it. You have to choose the right sentence to complete the email. You can write the correct answer here. For example, I hope this email finds you well. I'm reaching out to request some additional information regarding upcoming projects. Specifically, I need details on the project timeline and resource allocation, right? How can you complete this mail? Can you say, can you send me the info ASAP? Could you please provide this information at your earliest convenience? Or I need this information now. Which will be the most correct answer? Dharmesh? Samil, you can type if you have heard me.
B. Could you please
Huh?
provide this information at your earliest convenience?
B. Exactly, right? Similarly, because here it's a formal letter, right? Similarly, if you go to the next one, right? This is an informal and a friendly mail. So what is the scenario? You are inviting a co-worker for a casual get together, right? After work hangout. I hope you're having a great day. Few of us are planning to hang out after work. Would love for you to join us. Now complete the mail. ABC. We would appreciate your esteemed presence. Your attendance is requested. It would be awesome if you could come.
C. It would
C,
be awesome.
because it is informal and friendly. है ना? अभी यहाँ पे हम we appreciate your esteemed presence लिखेंगे तो वो सोचेगा मेरा मजाक उड़ा रहे है ना? So likewise, there are other exercises. You all can do it when you want, right? So it will help you. Empathetic and supportive. You're writing to a colleague who has missed a few deadlines due to personal issues, right? I hope you're doing okay. I noticed that there have been few missed deadlines recently, and I wanted to check in and see how you're doing. How will you complete this? What's going on with you? Let me know if there's anything I can do to support you. You need to do better. B, yes. So, because I need to be empathetic and supportive, right? Okay, any questions? Samil, any questions?
I'll have to go through the recording once again
Okay.
because I missed in after part of
You
time.
missed it in parts. Okay.
Yes.
Never mind, I'll share it tomorrow morning. So by the time you reach home, you'll have it in
No
your
problem.
this thing.
No problem.
If you want any clarification, you can reach out to me anytime.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you.
I hope these 3 days were able to give you some value.
Definitely fruitful. Definitely fruitful.
So tomorrow, when you're a little relaxed and taken rest, can you write me a feedback on WhatsApp?
I will do that. I will do
Yes.
that. Yes,
Dharmesh,
yes.
I want it from you also.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you just send me the 3 recordings of all the emails.
I have already sent you the recordings. The link is there.
And
You see,
emails.
it has come to you from my other number, Dharmesh, because I put it in the group. It's a broadcast list.
WhatsApp actually.
WhatsApp पे है. आप देखो आपके मैसेज में. आज की भी रिकॉर्डिंग भेजी है मैंने, पर कल भी भेजी थी.
नहीं, वो जो दूसरा वाला जो नंबर था ना, उसमें भी मेल तो आया नहीं है. ठीक है, नहीं
ठीक है, मैं दोबारा भेज दूंगी, कोई इशू नहीं.
हाँ, मेरे को लगा शायद मेल पे भेजा है. ठीक है.
Yeah. Right, Somil? So enjoy your train journey. Where have you reached? I was just started from Nagpur, I think.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Where have you reached, by the way?
नहीं वो रुकेगी नहीं, वो डायरेक्ट बडनेरा रुकेगी.
अच्छा, ऐसा है क्या? फास्ट है, एक्सप्रेस है?
हाँ, Duranto.
Okay. Oh, Duranto, yes. It's coming from Kolkata.
No.
Then?
Nagpur से शुरू होगी.
अच्छा, नागपुर से
There is
शुरू.
one starting from Nagpur.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Chalo, all the best. I will be running this program again after maybe 15 days or next month. So if anybody in your group or your team or your friend circle want to join in, they can.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. All the best. Thank you. Dharmesh, are we going to meet tomorrow?
No, actually,